The morning sun was warm and bright over the small town of Riverside. Birds sang in the trees. Cars moved slowly down the main street. Everything looked normal. Everything looked peaceful, but something was very wrong. A girl walked down the sidewalk toward Riverside High School. She had brown hair that fell to her shoulders. She wore blue jeans and a simple white shirt. Her backpack hung from one shoulder. She looked like any other 17-year-old student. Her name was Emma Collins. At least, that was the name on her school papers. The real Emma Collins was sleeping. She floated in a special tank filled with warm liquid, inside a spaceship, hidden behind Earth's moon. She was safe. She was dreaming. She did not know that someone else was wearing her face. The creature walking toward the school was named Velketh. She was an ambassador from a group of alien species called the Galactic Concordance. For 300 years, the Concordance had watched Earth from far away. They had seen humans build cities. They had seen humans create weapons. They had seen humans do terrible things to each other, but now the Concordance wanted to know more. Were humans ready to join the galactic community? Or were they too dangerous? Should they be left alone for another 1,000 years? Velketh had been chosen for this mission because she was the best. She had lived among 100 different species. She had worn 100 different skins. She knew how to watch, how to learn, how to stay hidden. But this mission scared her. Earth was classified as a death world. Category 7. This meant it was one of the most dangerous planets in the known galaxy. The gravity was strong. The weather was violent. The diseases were deadly. And the dominant species, humans, were apex predators. Velketh had studied humans for months before coming to Earth. She learned their languages. She learned their customs. She learned how they walked, how they talked, how they smiled. She practiced until her disguise was perfect. Still, she was nervous as she climbed the steps to the school's front door. The hallway inside was loud and busy. Hundreds of students moved in all directions. They shouted to each other. They laughed. They pushed and bumped into each other without fighting. Velketh found this strange. On most worlds, such contact would start violence. She looked at her paper. Room 214, English class. Hey, new girl. Velketh turned around quickly. Her muscles tensed. In her true form, she had claws that could cut through metal. But she was not in her true form now. She was Emma Collins, a normal human teenager. A tall boy walked toward her. He had dark skin and a wide, friendly smile. He wore a jacket with the school's name on it. "You look lost," he said. "I'm Jake Morrison. Need help?" Velketh studied him carefully. His body language showed no threat. His voice was warm. He was offering help to a stranger for no clear reason. This confused her. "Yes," she said slowly. "I am looking for room 214. Cool, that's on my way. Follow me." Jake started walking. Velketh followed. She watched everything around her. She noticed how other students looked at Jake with respect. She noticed how he nodded and smiled at almost everyone they passed. "So where are you from?" Jake asked. "I moved here from California," Velketh said. She had memorized the story. "My mother got a new job." "Nice. California's cool. You'll like it here too. Riverside's small, but people are friendly." He looked at her. "You seem nervous. First day at a new school is hard, right?" "Yes," Velketh admitted. "It is hard." Jake laughed. It was a good sound. Open and honest. "Don't worry. Everyone's nice here. Mostly. Stay away from the guys who hang out by the gym. They can be jerks. But everyone else is cool." They reached room 214. Jake stopped at the door. "Here you go. If you need anything, just find me." I'm usually in the cafeteria, at lunch, or at the basketball court after school. Thank you, Jake, Velka said. She meant it. His kindness was unexpected. No problem. See you around, Emma. He walked away. Velkith watched him go. She entered the classroom and found an empty seat near the window. Other students glanced at her with curiosity, but said nothing. The teacher, a woman with gray hair and kind eyes, smiled at her. You must be Emma. Welcome to Riverside High. Thank you, Velka said. The class began. The teacher talked about a book called To Kill a Mockingbird. Velkith had read it during her preparation. It was a story about justice and prejudice, and a man who defended someone everyone else hated. She found it fascinating. On most worlds, defending the weak was seen as foolish. Resources were limited. The strong survived. That was natural law, but humans wrote stories about heroes who protected the weak. They taught these stories to their children. Why? During the class, Velkith watched her fellow students. She saw a girl with red hair who took careful notes. She saw a boy who drew pictures in his notebook instead of listening. She saw two friends passing secret messages to each other. They were so young, so unaware. They did not know that creatures from other worlds watched them. They did not know that their entire species was being judged. At the end of class, the red-haired girl approached Velkith. Hi, I'm Lily, she said. You're new, right? Want to eat lunch with me and my friends? Another offer of kindness. Another stranger reaching out. Yes, Velkith said. I would like that. Lily smiled. Great. Meet me by the big tree outside the cafeteria at noon. You'll like my friends. Tyler talks too much about science fiction, but he's funny. She walked away before Velkith could respond. Velkith sat alone for a moment after the classroom emptied. She thought about what she had seen. Jake had helped her without asking for anything. Lily had invited her to eat with her friends. The teacher had welcomed her with warmth. These were predators. These were creatures from a Deathworld. They had fought wars that killed millions. They had weapons that could destroy cities, but they also had kindness. They had warmth. They reached out to strangers. Velkith pulled out a small device hidden in her backpack. It looked like a phone, but was actually a recording device. Observation 1, she whispered. Humans offer assistance to strangers without clear benefit to themselves. This behavior seems common, not rare. Further study is needed. I do not understand this species yet. She put the device away and walked to her next class. Outside the window, the sun continued to shine. The birds continued to sing. The small town of Riverside continued. His normal day. No one knew that an alien walked among them. No. One knew that humanity was being tested. And no one knew that the test had only just begun. 3 days passed. Velkith learned many things. She learned that humans needed to sleep for 8 hours every night or they became angry and slow. She learned that they ate 3 times a day, sometimes more. She learned that they complained about things called homework and tests, but still did them. Anyway, she learned that high school had rules that no one wrote down. The athletes sat together at the best tables. The students who studied hard sat near the library. The artists and musicians gathered in the corner by the windows. Everyone had a place. Everyone had a group. Velkith sat with Lily and her friends. There was Tyler, a thin boy with glasses who loved science fiction books. There was Maria, a quiet girl who drew beautiful pictures in her notebook. There was Ben, who laughed at everything and made everyone else laugh too. They accepted Velkith without question. They shared their food with her. They explained jokes she did not understand. They asked about her life in California and believed her lies. It was strange. It was nice. It was confusing. On the 4th day, something important happened. Velkith was eating lunch alone. Lily and the others were late. She sat at their usual table and watched the cafeteria, studying human behavior as always. She noticed a group of older students walking toward the far corner. There were 5 of them. They were big and strong. Their faces showed no kindness. They moved with purpose, like predators hunting. In the corner sat a small boy. He was young, maybe 14 or 15. He had messy hair and thick glasses. A stack of books sat on the table next to his food. Velkith recognized him. His name was Tyler, not her friend Tyler, but another Tyler. People called him Little Tyler to tell them apart. The older students surrounded Little Tyler's table. The biggest one, a boy with a cruel smile, grabbed one of the books. "What are you reading, nerd?" he asked loudly. Others nearby looked, but said nothing. "Please give it back," Little Tyler said. His voice was small and scared. "Please give it back," the big boy repeated in a mocking voice. His friends laughed. He opened the book and started tearing out pages. Velkith watched with great interest. This was normal behavior on most worlds. The strong dominated the weak. The weak accepted their place. It was nature. It was logical. Little Tyler tried to grab his book back. One of the older students pushed him. He fell off his chair and hit the floor. His glasses fell off his face. No one helped. Everyone watched. Some looked uncomfortable. Some looked away. But no one moved. Then Lily walked into the cafeteria. Velkith watched as Lily saw what was happening. She watched as Lily's face changed. First, there was surprise. Then there was anger. A cold, quiet anger that Velkith found fascinating. Lily was small. She was maybe 5 feet tall and very thin. Kun. The boys tormenting Little Tyler were twice her size. Any logical calculation showed that she could not win a fight against them. Lily did not seem to care about logic. She walked directly toward the group. Her steps were steady and calm. Her eyes never looked away from the big boy holding the torn book. "Give it back," Lily said. Her voice was quiet but clear. The big boy turned around and laughed. "Oh, what, little girl? You going to cry?" "No," Lily said. She did not step back. She did not show fear. "I'm going to tell Principal Harrison about what you did to the chemistry lab last week. I'm going to show him the photos on my phone. The ones that show your face very clearly. The ones that show you breaking equipment that cost more than your car." The laughter stopped. "You're lying," the big boy said. But his voice was less confident now. "Try me," Lily said simply. Silence filled the cafeteria. Everyone watched. Everyone waited. The big boy dropped the torn book on the table. He looked at Lily with hatred in his eyes. "This isn't over," he said. "Yes, it is," Lily replied. The group walked away. They tried to look tough, but everyone had seen what happened. Everyone had seen a small girl defeat them with nothing but words and courage. Lily helped Little Tyler pick up his glasses and his torn book. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Yes," Little Tyler said. His eyes were wet with tears he was trying to hide. "Thank you. You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did," Lily said simply. She said it like it was obvious, like there was no other choice. Velkith could not look away. She could not understand. On her world, helping the weak was dangerous. It made you a target. It used resources that could help your own survival. No one did it unless they had something to gain. But Lily had nothing to gain. Little Tyler was not her family. He was not even her friend. She had risked making powerful enemies just to help a stranger. Why? Velkith found Lily later that day after classes ended. "Can I ask you something?" Velkith said. "Sure." Lily smiled. She seemed completely normal now, as if the cafeteria incident was not important. "In the cafeteria. That boy, why did you help him?" Lily looked confused by the question. Because they were hurting him. Because it was wrong. Because someone had to do something. But you could have been hurt. They were bigger than you, stronger. So? Lily shrugged. Being scared isn't a reason to do nothing. If everyone looks away when someone needs help, then the bullies win. Then the world gets worse. I don't want to live in that kind of world. But what if they hurt you tomorrow? What if they want revenge? Lily smiled again. It was not a scared smile. It was fierce and strong. Then I'll deal with that tomorrow. Today, a kid didn't have to face those jerks alone. That matters. That's worth the risk. She walked away, leaving Velkith standing alone in the hallway. That night, Velkith sat in the small apartment she had rented. She pulled out her recording device. Observation 2, she said slowly. Humans protect members of their group, even without genetic connection. They do this even when there is personal risk. They do not calculate survival odds before acting. They use information as weapons. They value something called doing the right thing more than personal safety. She paused, thinking, this is unlike any species I have studied before. They are not logical. They are not rational. But there is something in their behavior that I admire. I do not know how to report this to the council. I do not know how to explain that the most dangerous thing about humans might not be their strength or their weapons. She looked out the window at the stars. The most dangerous thing about humans might be their hearts. She turned off the device and sat in silence for a long time. In the cafeteria, a small girl had faced down 5 larger enemies without fear. In her mind, Velkith replayed that moment again and again. She was beginning to understand why the Concordance was afraid of humanity. She was beginning to feel something she had never felt before: respect. The sky turned green on a Tuesday afternoon. Velkith noticed it first through the classroom window. She had seen many strange things in her long life. She had watched stars explode. She had walked on planets made entirely of ice. She had swum in oceans of liquid metal, but she had never seen a sky change color like this. Around her, the human students noticed too. They stopped listening to the teacher. They moved toward the windows. Some of them looked scared. Others looked excited. That's not good, Jake said softly. He sat 2 desks away from Velkith. A loud alarm suddenly filled the school. It was different from the fire alarm Velkith had heard during a drill last week. This one was longer and more urgent. Tornado warning! The teacher shouted over the noise. Everyone follow me to the basement. Stay calm. Do not run. Velkith did not understand. She pulled out her hidden device and quickly searched through the information. Tornado. A violent rotating column of air. Winds over 300 miles per hour. Can destroy buildings in seconds. Can kill instantly. And Earth just let these things happen? They had not found a way to control their weather? Velkith followed the other students down the stairs to the basement. The building shook slightly. Through a window, she saw the sky growing darker. She saw trash and leaves flying through the air in strange patterns. The basement was crowded. Hundreds of students sat against the walls. Teachers moved through the crowd, counting heads, keeping everyone calm. The lights flickered but stayed on. This is insane, Tyler said. He was sitting with Lily, Maria, and Ben. Velkith joined them. A real tornado. This is so cool. It's not cool, Lily said sharply. People can die in these things. I know. But still, the raw power of nature, you know? It's amazing. Velkith agreed with Tyler, though she did not say so. The idea that humans lived on a planet that regularly tried to kill them with giant spinning columns of wind was remarkable. On any civilized world, Such dangers would have been eliminated long ago. Is everyone here? A teacher asked loudly. Does anyone see anyone missing? Wait, someone said. Where are the kindergartners? Silence fell over the basement. Everyone looked around. The elementary school was connected to the high school by a long hallway. The young children 5 and 6 years old were supposed to be in the basement too, but they were not here. Oh God, a teacher said. Her face went pale. The drill. We practiced coming to this basement. But the kindergarten class was on a field trip that day. They don't know where to go. For a moment, nobody moved. The building shook again, harder this time. Through the small basement windows near the ceiling, Velkith could see the sky turning black. The tornado was close. The logical thing to do was clear. Close the basement doors. Protect the majority. The kindergartners were probably already dead, or they would find shelter on their own. Risking more lives to save them made no mathematical sense. This is what Velkith expected to happen. She was wrong. 3 teachers ran for the stairs. They did not hesitate. They did not discuss. They simply moved. Stay here. One of them shouted. Keep the students calm. We'll be back. They disappeared up the stairs. Velkith stared in shock. This was madness. The tornado could hit at any moment. Those teachers were running toward Death Dot. Then Jake stood up. I'm going too, he said. Jake, no! Someone grabbed his arm. Those are little kids up there, Jake said. His voice was calm but firm. I'm not going to sit here while they die. He pulled free and ran for the stairs. Lily stood up next. Lily. Maria shouted. There are 20 kids in that class, Lily said. We need more people to carry them. She grabbed a first aid kit from the wall and followed Jake. Something strange happened inside Velkith. Her species did not feel emotions the way humans did. They calculated. They reasoned. They made logical decisions. But right now, watching her friends run toward danger, Velkith felt something that was not logical at all. She stood up. Emma, what are you doing? Ben asked. I am going to help, Velkith said. She ran after the others before anyone could stop her. The hallway to the elementary school was dark. The power had gone out. Wind screamed outside the windows. The building groaned and shook. Velkith caught up with Jake and Lily. The teachers were ahead of them, opening doors, calling out for the children. There! Someone shouted. The kindergarten classroom. Through the broken window, Velkith could see the tornado. It was huge. It was black. It was coming straight toward them. Inside the classroom, 20 small children huddled in a corner. Their teacher, a young woman named Miss Kate, was shielding them with her own body. Her face was bleeding from flying glass. We have to move them now, Jake shouted over the wind. There was no time to think. Velkith grabbed a child, then another. She passed them to Lily, who passed them to the next person. A human chain formed. Children were handed from person to person, moving toward the basement. The tornado hit the other side of the school. The sound was louder than anything Velkith had ever heard. It was like 1,000 trains all at once. Windows exploded. The ceiling cracked. Faster! Jake screamed. A little girl would not let go of her stuffed rabbit. She was crying, frozen with fear. Jake picked her up, rabbit and all. I've got you, he said gently. I've got you. You're safe. Glass flew through the air. A piece hit Jake's arm. Blood appeared immediately. It was a deep cut. It must have hurt terribly. Jake did not drop the child. He did not scream. He did not even slow down. He handed the girl to Velkith. Get her to safety, he said. Blood ran down his arm. His face was pale. I'll get the last ones. Your arm, Velkith started. I'm fine. Go. Velkith ran with the child in her arms. Behind her, she heard Jake's voice. Still calm, still gentle, talking to the remaining children, telling them everything would be okay. They made it to the basement, just as the tornado passed directly over the school. The noise was indescribable. The floor shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Children screamed. Then it was over. The silence that followed was almost as loud as the storm. Jake came down the stairs last. He carried a small boy in his good arm. His other arm was wrapped in Lily's jacket, soaked with blood. "Everyone made it?" he said. Then he sat down heavily against the wall. Miss Kate was crying. The kindergartners were crying. Everyone was hugging everyone else. Velka stood apart from the group, watching. She could not cry. Her species did not have tear ducts. But something inside her chest felt strange, tight, warm. Later, after the ambulances came, after Jake was taken to the hospital, after the children were reunited with their parents, Velka sat alone in the ruined hallway. She pulled out her recording device. "Observation 3, she said. Her voice shook slightly. "Humans run toward danger to protect offspring that are not their own. They endure extreme pain without stopping. They lie to children to keep them calm. They form cooperative chains without planning or orders. They value the lives of others above their own survival." She paused. "I have lived for 300 years. I have studied 100 species. I have never seen anything like what I saw today." She looked at the destroyed classroom, at the blood on the floor, at the small footprints in the dust. The Concordance believes humans are dangerous because of their weapons and their violence. They are wrong. Humans are dangerous because they care, because they will not leave anyone behind, because they will die for strangers. She turned off the device and sat in the silence for a long time. In the distance, she could hear a child laughing. Someone had made it through the storm. Everyone had made it through the storm, because humans would not accept any other outcome. 3 weeks passed after the tornado. The school was repaired quickly. Humans, Velketh noticed, were very good at rebuilding. They did not complain. They did not give up. They simply worked until things were fixed. Jake came back after 1 week. His arm was wrapped in white bandages. He had needed 47 stitches. When people called him a hero, he looked embarrassed and changed the subject. "Anyone would have done it," he kept saying. Velketh knew this was not true. On most worlds, no one would have done it. But she did not correct him. Life returned to normal. Classes continued. Homework was assigned. Tests were taken. The tornado became a story people told at lunch, getting more dramatic each time. But Velketh was not normal. She had a mission to complete. On a cold night in November, she walked to an empty field outside of town. The stars were bright above her. She could see her home constellation, very small and very far away. She pulled out a different device from her pocket. This one was not for recording. This one was for communication. "Ambassador Velketh to Concordance Vessel 17, she said softly. "Requesting secure channel." Static. Then a voice. "Ambassador. This is Council Leader Thren. We have received your observation reports. They have caused significant concern." "I expected they would," Velketh said. "You recommend continued observation. You recommend against quarantine. Explain your reasoning." Velketh took a deep breath. She had thought about this moment for weeks. She had practiced what she would say. The Council views humans as dangerous because of their history of violence. You see their wars, their weapons, their capacity for destruction. "These are facts," Council Leader Thren said. "They have killed millions of their own kind. They have created weapons that could destroy their entire planet. They are unstable, aggressive, unpredictable." "Yes," Velketh agreed. "All of this is true. but it is not the complete picture. Then complete it for us. Velkith closed her eyes. She thought about Jake helping a stranger find her classroom. She thought about Lily standing up to bullies twice her size. She thought about teachers running toward a tornado to save children. Humans are pack predators, she began. But they define their pack very broadly. They include strangers. They include other species. They include individuals they have never met and will never meet. This is illogical, the council leader said. Yes, it is illogical. And it is the most terrifying thing I have ever witnessed. Silence from the ship. Let me explain, Velkith continued. 3 weeks ago, a deadly storm approached the school. 20 young children were trapped in a building that was about to be destroyed. The logical response was to protect the majority, to seal the shelter, to accept the loss. This is standard protocol on all civilized worlds, the council leader agreed. The humans did not follow this protocol. Teachers ran into the storm. Students followed. They formed a chain and carried every single child to safety. One of them was badly injured. He did not stop. He did not even slow down. Why would they do this? Because the children needed help. Because it was wrong to leave them. Because, in their own words, someone had to do something. Velkith opened her eyes and looked up at the stars. Council leader, the Galactic Concordance has studied humans from a distance. You have seen their wars, but not their hospitals. You have seen their weapons, but not their schools. You have seen them kill, but not watched them die for each other. What are you saying, Ambassador? I am saying that humans are exactly as dangerous as you feared, but not for the reasons you believe. She transmitted her recorded observations. Every moment she had witnessed. Every conversation she had heard. Every small act of kindness. Every large act of courage. Every illogical, irrational, beautiful thing these creatures did for each other. The council leader was silent for a long time. These behaviors do not match our models, he finally said. They are inconsistent with predator species patterns. They are unprecedented. Yes, Velkith said. They are unprecedented. If your observations are accurate, and these behaviors are common rather than rare, then the threat assessment must be revised. I recommend extreme caution, Velkith said, but not for the reason you think. Do not fear what humans will do to us. Fear what humans will do for each other. Explain. Velkith thought carefully about her next words. If we approach as friends, if we offer respect and kindness, humans will likely welcome us. They form bonds quickly. They adopt strangers into their families. They would probably give us gifts and throw parties and ask endless questions about our homes. That seems positive. Yes, but there is another possibility. If we approach as threats, if we endanger something they love, their families, their world, their children, they will not negotiate. They will not calculate odds. They will not surrender. They would fight. They would fight until nothing remained. Not to win. Not because they believe they can win. But because surrendering while someone they love is in danger is simply not something they are capable of doing. Velkith remembered Jake carrying that child with blood running down his arm. She remembered the look in his eyes. There was no fear there. No calculation. Only determination. I have worn 100 skins, Velkith said quietly. I have lived among 100 species. I have seen empires rise and fall. I have watched worlds burn, and I have never been afraid. Until I came to Earth, until I understood what humans really are. What are they? Velkith smiled. It was a human expression she had learned. It felt strange on her face, but also right. They are monsters, she said. The most dangerous monsters in the galaxy. Not because they are strong, though they are strong. Not because they are smart, though they are smart. But because they love. because they will burn everything, including themselves, to protect what they love. You speak of them with admiration. I do. You have compromised your objectivity, Ambassador. Perhaps. But I've also done something no other observer has done. I have lived among them. I have eaten with them. I have watched them face death and choose to save strangers. My objectivity may be compromised, but my observations are accurate. The council leader was silent for a long moment. What is your recommendation, Ambassador? Do not quarantine them. Do not attack them. Do not ignore them. They are advancing too quickly. In 50 years, maybe less, they will develop faster than light travel. They will find us whether we want them to or not. Then what do you suggest? I suggest we do something the Concordance has never done in 3,000 years. And what is that? Velkith looked up at the stars. Somewhere up there, ships were waiting. Decisions were being made. The future of two civilizations hung in the balance. I suggest we make friends, she said, before we make enemies. The transmission ended. Velkith stood alone in the field for a long time. Tomorrow she would go back to school. She would eat lunch with Lily and Tyler and Maria and Ben. She would help Jake with his homework since his injured arm made writing difficult. She would pretend to be Emma Collins, a normal human teenager, but soon, very soon, she would have to tell them the truth. She was not ready. She was not sure she would ever be ready, but she knew she had to try, because that is what humans would do. And after 3 weeks of living among them, Velkith was beginning to understand why. Graduation day arrived on a warm Saturday in June. The football field was covered with white chairs. Hundreds of parents sat with cameras ready. Teachers stood at the sides, smiling at students they had watched grow for 4 years. The sun was bright, and the sky was perfectly blue. Velkith sat among her classmates in a black graduation gown and cap. It felt strange, heavy, symbolic in ways. She was still learning to understand. 4 months had passed since her conversation with the council leader. 4 months of normal life. 4 months of pretending to be Emma Collins while waiting for a decision that would change everything. The decision had come last night. The council has voted, the message said. First contact will proceed. Ambassador Velkith will make initial disclosure to her observation subjects. Full public contact will follow within 30 days. And so, on the happiest day of her friends' lives, Velkith would tell them the truth. She was terrified. The ceremony began. The principal gave a long speech about futures and possibilities. Students walked across the stage one by one to receive their papers. Parents cheered and cried. Emma Collins, the principal called. Velkith walked across the stage. She shook hands. She smiled. She looked out at the crowd and saw Mrs. Collins, the real Emma's mother, who believed her daughter was on a special study program. Soon she would learn the truth too. So many lies. So many secrets. All about to end. After the ceremony, Velkith found her friends near the old oak tree where they had eaten lunch together so many times. Jake was there, his arm finally healed, a small scar, the only reminder of the tornado. Lily was taking pictures with everyone. Tyler was already talking about which science fiction movies they should watch over the summer. Maria was quietly drawing the scene in her notebook. Ben was making everyone laugh. Emma, Lily called. Get over here. Group photo. Velkith joined them. They put their arms around each other. Someone's parent took the picture. 4 friends and 1 alien in disguise, smiling like the world made sense. This is the best day ever, Tyler said. High school is finally over. No more homework. No more tests. Freedom. Summer's going to be amazing, Jake agreed. Beach trips. Late nights. No responsibilities. I'm going to read like 100 books, Lily said. I'm going to sleep until noon every single day, Ben added. They laughed. They made plans. They talked about the future as if they knew what it would hold. Velkith listened. Her heart, or the organ that served a similar purpose, felt heavy. I need to tell you something, she said quietly. Something in her voice made them stop. They looked at her, concerned, curious. What is it? Lily asked. Are you okay? You look pale. I am not okay, Velkith said. And what I am about to tell you will change everything. But I owe you the truth. You are my friends. The first friends I have had in 300 years. 300 years? Tyler laughed nervously. Emma, what are you talking about? Velkith looked at each of them. She remembered Jake helping her find her classroom on the first day. Lily inviting her to lunch. Tyler explaining human jokes she did not understand. Maria sharing her drawings. Ben making her laugh when she felt alone. They had accepted her without question. They had treated her like family. They deserved the truth. My name is not Emma Collins, she said. I am Ambassador Velkith of the Galactic Concordance. I am an observer from a civilization that spans thousands of star systems. I have been living among you, wearing human skin, to study your species and determine if you are ready for first contact. Silence. Tyler's mouth fell open. Lily's eyes went wide. Maria's pencil stopped moving. Ben stopped smiling. Jake just stared. Is this a joke? Lily finally asked. Because it's not funny. It is not a joke. Velkith made a decision. She had practiced this moment, but practice did not make it easier. Slowly, carefully, she allowed her true form to show. Her skin shifted. Her face changed. Her eyes, which had been human brown, became something else entirely larger, darker, with no clear pupil. Her hands, which had seemed normal, revealed the truth beneath longer fingers, darker color, small claws at the tips. She did not reveal her full form. That would have been too much. But she showed enough. Lily screamed. Ben fell backward over a chair. Maria dropped her notebook. Tyler grabbed his phone and started recording, his hands shaking. Jake did not move. He stared at Velkith with an expression she could not read. This is not possible, Lily whispered. This is not possible. I am sorry, Velkith said. Her voice sounded different now, slightly deeper, with harmonics that human vocal cords could not produce. I am sorry for the deception. I am sorry for the shock. But I wanted you to know the truth before the world knows. Because you are my friends. Because you showed me what humanity really is. What does that mean? Jake asked quietly. Velkith shifted back to her human form. Emma Collins stood before them again, looking tired and sad and afraid. The Galactic Concordance has watched Earth for 300 years. We saw your wars, your violence, your capacity for destruction. Many believed you should be isolated, quarantined, left alone until you evolved or destroyed yourselves. And now? Jake asked. Now we want to be friends. Why? What changed? Velkith thought about everything she had seen. Every moment. Every kindness. Every act of courage. You changed it, she said. You, Jake, helping a stranger find her classroom on the first day. You, Lily, standing up to bullies twice your size. All of you, running into a tornado to save children you did not know. She looked at each of them. The Concordance believed humans were dangerous because of your weapons and your wars. They were wrong. Humans are dangerous because you love. Because you will burn everything, including yourselves, to protect what you love. Tyler was still recording. His hands were steadier now. So, he said slowly, you're saying aliens exist. And they were scared of us. Not because of our bombs, but because of kindness? Yes, Because your kindness has no limits. Because you extend it to strangers. Because you will die for people you have never met. Velkith smiled slightly. That is terrifying. That is also beautiful. The council has never seen anything like it. What happens now? Lily asked. Now, everything changes. Ships will arrive within 30 days. Your governments will be contacted. There will be chaos and fear and wonder. Nothing will ever be the same. She looked up at the blue sky. Somewhere beyond it, vessels were already moving closer. But before all of that happens, I wanted to stand here with my friends. I wanted to tell you that everything I learned about humanity, I learned from you. And I wanted to say thank you. Silence again. But a different kind of silence. Not fear anymore. Something else. Jake stepped forward. Slowly. Carefully. He stopped in front of Velkith. So you're an alien? He sighed. Yes. And you've been studying? US. Yes. And we passed some kind of test? Yes. Jake nodded slowly. Then he smiled. It was the same warm, open smile he had given her on the first day of school. Cool, he said. So, are your people going to throw us a party? Because I feel like First Contact deserves a party. Velkith laughed. It was not quite a human laugh, but it was real. I think that can be arranged. Lily stepped forward next. Then Tyler, still recording. Then Maria, picking up her notebook. Then Ben, finally getting up from where he had fallen. They stood together under the oak tree. 5 humans and 1 alien. Friends. This is insane, Lily said. This is absolutely insane. Yes, Velkith agreed. But kind of amazing too. Yes. Tyler pointed his phone at the sky. I'm going to be the first human to document First Contact. This is going to get so many views. Ben laughed. Maria started drawing again, this time, sketching Velkith's true face from memory. Jake put his hand on Velkith's shoulder. Thank you, he said, for telling us the truth, for trusting us. Thank you for teaching me what it means to be human, Velkith replied. I came here as an observer. I am leaving as something else. What? A friend. Above them, the sky was still blue. The sun was still warm. Parents were still taking pictures. The world was still spinning . But everything had changed. Humanity was no longer alone. And somewhere far away, in the halls of the Galactic Concordance, leaders were preparing for something unprecedented, an alliance with the most dangerous, the most illogical, the most beautiful species they had ever encountered. Velkith stood with her friends and watched the sun begin to set. Tomorrow, ships would fill the sky. Tomorrow, everything would be different. But today, right now, in this moment, she was just Emma, and they were just friends. And the universe, vast and ancient and full of wonders, seemed a little less cold, because humans had taught an alien how to love, and that changed everything. The end.